Brandi, welcome back to the Create Podcast. You were on the show a few years ago now. I can't believe how fast time is flying, and it's so nice to see you and to connect with you. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Very excited to see you. It has been too long.
Been
It's
a
been a very
while.
long time. Yeah, things have changed. Life has evolved really, really at warp speed. So,
Yeah, so previously when you were on, and I'll link the episodes, and I think you had one with Alicia as well. And we talked to you about your art and managing your life and motherhood. And now you've built so many beautiful things. You've built a community online and in person, which I can't wait to hear about. And you've been doing all the things. And if you were to introduce yourself today in 2026, how would you introduce this version of Brandi?
yeah, no, I actually have to do this quite frequently on interviews. So, yeah, I'm an artist, educator, mother, podcaster, muralist, and author. So it's a lot to juggle, but I think that's what we do as creatives. We have the ability to pursue our passions. And sometimes, I think we talked about that on the podcast, is how it's okay to be multifaceted, have interests, and have it change in the seasons of your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that so much. And what does that entail for you today? What are your multi passions?
Yeah. Right. I'm really excited about something that is coming up and we're booking right now. It just launched. We're going to Portugal in
Oh,
June 2027, like a small group, only 15 creatives. And it's really based around finding the joy back in your creativity. I know a lot of people let it go and it's always there and it's always tugging at them, but they don't necessarily honor it and take the time to do it, or they feel judged, or they feel like they're not good enough, and or someone told them something in the past that made them stop when it comes to any sort of creative passion. And actually on this retreat, we are actually tapping into that. In the morning, we have an actual therapist,
wow.
registered therapist, my very good friend Heather. She has art expression training as well. She therapy training. So, and she's a certified she's amazing. She's amazing. Just trust me. She's a certified yoga instructor. So we're going to do optional, you can obviously just sit there because some people don't love yoga, but I do. I love that meditation movement and the connecting back to yourself. But we're tapping into that right away before we do any sort of art and instruction, which my art instruction is super chill and fun. So it's nice that we get that momentum going with when did you feel, or do you still feel like you're not allowed to be your true creative self? Like, when did that happen for you? We're going to sketchbook about it. And then, of course, we'll go into those lessons and we'll really release it and let it go. And yeah, finding that joy back in to creating. And of course, I have really empowering portrait techniques. They're so approachable. I have I know they say niche down with your people and your audience all the time, but I have professional artists who love it and I have youth who love it. I have a lot of mother and daughters booked on this trip
Oh, that's
already.
awesome.
It's cute. It's cute. And I have at any age where people just pick it up again. I just got and I read it because I was like, I think I should read this before the podcast today. From my friend Aja, who's a new mom, such a hard time. And I remember, and we podcasted about this time, she just had a baby. She came to
Oh,
my mural fest and I'm like, how are you here? I would
wow.
never be able to mural with a new baby. Anyway, and she came to help me paint this garden mural too. But she said, I'm so grateful you shared your art process because it helped give me confidence to play and create again. As someone who used to be much more prolific in my art practice when I was younger, and I spent a decade caught behind artistic blocks, anytime I would sit down to draw or paint, I was just so stuck. But using your portrait technique with a printout and oil pastel, using pencil crayon to outline gave me this confidence back. This approach is accessible and user-friendly for all ages and abilities. I give a lot of credit to you for helping me because it sorry, I screwed that up. I give a lot of credit to you for helping me become a re-emerging artist because you
Hmm.
gave me tools to come back to my art practice without judgment. The ripple effect of your particular style is that you've helped probably literally hundreds of thousands of adults who do your process and think, I remember when I used to love to paint. Maybe I'll try again. Or that kid who thinks, I can't believe I made that. That's all. You and this technique. Yeah, lots of love. So I'm just like, it's just
Beautiful.
like, she's so sweet. She's like one of the sweetest humans, but I get those messages like a lot. Like in India, they'll be like, we did this for our final art show and here's pictures of all the parents and all the kids or yeah, it made me come back to my art again. And or like as a professional artist, like yourself, I think you messaged me, you're like, I want to try this. Didn't you get
Yeah,
the class? Yeah.
I
And
did. It was so lovely.
you're
And
like,
is this
I'm a bit
retreat?
afraid of
Yeah.
portraiture and I'm gonna give it a go. you know?
Yeah, it's an awesome class. Now, back to the retreat. Does this include, are you guiding people through your portrait method on the retreat as well?
Yes. So again, whether you're a beginner or an established artist or I think like the technique works if you've had drawing experience, of course, you'll be a little bit more ahead. But that's what I teach, like how to use line sensitivity, how to use mark making, how to use your mediums. Like it's definitely, there's something to it, right? Like when you mix media, there definitely is like an order of things and how you mix color and how you like, there's so many small things like what senneliers to mix together to get the highlighted tone instead of just using white because it can gray something down. And line sensitivity is such a huge one, especially like in anything. We were sketching a lot in this last mural I did, and I had my youth mentorship program going. And I'm like, even I had some professional artists there, and I was like, so you outlined everything like really thickly and
Mm,
that's going to like flatten everything down. But if you have, it was floral. So if you have those like darker lines, like that petal will move forward and then you like release your line a little bit and then that will allow it to fall back. That's same with portraiture, with lips or anything. Like people tend to do that really hard, like outlining when they're sketching and drawing. And it's one, and I remember in art school, people being like, oh, your lines, like it was like this innate thing. And now I love sharing it with everyone to improve their artwork and, to have those magical sparks and aha moments come back to them. And already I have like people booked that like are really like amazing photographers and and so I'm like, will you also capture us all there, by the way?
that's so
Like, I don't want
exciting.
to make you work on your one trip, but I'd love to, it's like working together. And I know when projects are like so good and you'll have a hard time like coming off of it. Like I know that this is one of those things. So
Sure. Is this
yeah,
your first retreat that you're hosting, or have you
it
done
is.
something before? Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I've done like tons of workshops and classes, and obviously I work with 62 kids twice a week.
Wow.
But I've never like been like, let's, travel somewhere. And of course, a company that does it like only works with like 5-star places, beautiful villas, like amazing hosts and amazing chefs, or then they don't work with them anymore. So they do all the hard work on like all the questions. You're like, how do I get there? How do I get my art supplies there? Like they pick you up, they organize it all. Like they're really reputable company. And they were like, so like teaching's a lot of, pressure, a lot of work. Are you okay with like a group of 18? Or I was like, I do 62 teenagers a week. I'm like, this will be a walk in the park.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's so exciting. Congratulations. Are there still spots available, or is it all booked up?
It's not booked up yet because we just opened it, but it's getting there. So if this sounds like something you'd like to experience,
Yeah,
don't
well,
wait. Yeah, we only have a certain amount of time, and by September, you'll be lucky. Yeah, if
amazing.
we
Well,
get
if
it
for
out.
those listening, hopefully at the time of recording, maybe there's a spot left. If not next time, I'm sure they can join your wait list and stay in touch for future opportunities. Brandi, I'm going to go back a little bit. You mentioned that creating these portraits using your special technique that you developed, which is so lovely and it is so accessible. I really enjoyed it. And even though I didn't use it exactly how you taught, I took parts of it that actually really helped me map out some ideas, which was really great as I was developing new work. But you mentioned this helped you come back to your art. Can you talk a little bit about that? Was this like a season where you stepped away from your painting and then you found something that worked for you? Can you describe like how did you get to developing this process?
Uh, it's just like there were so many frustrating moments where it would just be like hours and hours and hours of coming out of art school. And they told us in art school, and this is so terrible, it's like using a projector is cheating. So it was like, no,
Well,
which
did
I
they
mean,
not read their art history?
yeah, like it's another tool. And whether you like to use it or not, simply it's the artist's choice. And I think when people say these things, it's just it frustrates me. And of course now it's like my mission to like really break it. And I've literally seen it, and not to be egotistical, like change the internet. Like I see,
Mhm.
like I kept it a secret for years, like almost a decade. And then my friend came over and she's like, I'd love you to teach my 12-year-old Ruby portraiture. And once I taught them and saw how good it was, like right away for them. And actually, I didn't know, but Kristen, her mom, was in art school and was literally told she was cheating, like had this terrible experience. So then again, me having those bad experiences in art school, and of course, like these experiences were meant to happen. So then you have this like crazy effect. So you're like, I'm going to change the world. Like this like delusional thing. Like I didn't think that, but I see it happening. I see teachers using it all the time because of course, if you have a platform and if you have things go viral, like it just like you see it changes and like it all links you together. Right. And so to have those barriers put on someone and literally be like, so it was so much effort, like gritting and trying to get things right. And I went to a course, like online education and in-person education is a must. Like I don't even think art school is a must. I think just like
Yeah,
like that decision
100%.
to do educate, like any sort of education and invest in yourself and invest in your passions or your practice it's just a decision you make. And so I went and it was another portrait artist and he was friends with Andrew Salgado, like a really famous Canadian portrait artist. His name is Justin Ogilvie. And so I did a summer series course with him and I was pregnant with my second. I wasn't making art. Again, I don't know. Pregnancy's weird. So when you say like I stopped, like all I wanted to do was like garden. It was so I still love gardening, but it's not like I obsessive in my head, like all I think about. Usually that's art. And I did, of course, burn out from portraiture too, but that wasn't your question. That was not making it. But I went there and we were doing live figurative drawing, again, where I actually went to art school. And we were doing, and we were doing a lot of discussions. It was very positive. Justin also, you could tell, was like tired of portraiture and he was just like making weird portraits. So you see other artists like get burnt out too of this like style and this niche and this like pressure. And he kind of took me as the side after and he's like, Brandi, like, if you want to use a projector, I know all like you listed all your favorite artists, like they're using one, like they're hate to demystify it, but like they're not some like, you know, they're using them. And if you want your like he's like, I'm choosing to not have like super realistic portraits right now, but like, you have this style. And if you throw it in there, like, why wouldn't you? Like, just so you know, like, there's nothing wrong with it. And then I was like, okay, you're right. So instead of gridding for like days and then even still when you grid, like things are off. And I have like, I know my art doesn't look like perfection, but like if something's off, like I'm trying like to adjust the oils, adjust the everything till it's right in my head, right? So that's time and materials. And of course, by my third child, like that is unrealistic. So I started projecting, and you could see the shift in my figurative work in my collections, like really gorgeous, really like it just, there was like something released and there was a lot of freedom. And then in that time, I also came up with my other like on paper and small canvas technique, which I teach in portrait class, and like kind of have like give little hints online about like how you can do it in a classroom so it's accessible for teachers. But I got burnt out making portraits, and I was working with Penny Lane, the art consultant at the time, and she's like, we don't, times are uncertain. I think it was 2018 or 2019. And she's
Are
like,
they ever certain?
yeah, no, it got worse, Penny Lane.
It did not
Yeah,
get better.
yeah. No one learned their lesson. And so I think we feel things more sensitively as and empathetically as creatives, but that's another subject. And I ended up making 130 like commission because her advice worked. And I made like 130 like collect in my collection and in like custom artwork in a year. And so it is more efficient.
Wow.
But like I couldn't say no, and financially it wasn't feasible either. Like I'm like, that wasn't enough for like selling original artwork and like the effort and time. So of course I've pivoted. I do murals, I do education, and I find now that the education is very fulfilling, like helping people click
Mm.
whatever that looks like, and to not feel like they're doing something wrong. But those experiences feed into that, you know?
Isn't that
Like,
crazy? I so agree. I love this so much. And it's true. I think the issue isn't what tools you use, whether you want to use a projector or trace or whatever, or you like make up your own thing that helps you. I mean, the medieval freaking Renaissance masters did it. They didn't
you can
like just
tell.
and they
Yeah.
even yeah, and they even like I remember taking art history of Northern Europe. They had like a template that they all used the same like Jesus and Mary with child like triptych. It was the same one over and over and over again, which is so funny when I look back to that time. But I think the issue isn't any of those tools. It's this feeling like you're doing something wrong, and you nailed it because I think we all feel it in different areas. Like, am I running my business right? Am I a real artist? If I have like, if I teach online or if I have a day job or if I do commissions, like I think art school, like the mythical art school, that's not a specific art school, but the canon or whatever you want to call it, it instilled these weird self-doubts that aren't even based in any reality. And they don't even have examples of anyone living by their standards. Like, I never met anyone who lives like these people tell you to live, like only do this, don't do this, just show in the white cube and never share your price. Like, it just doesn't even exist in this world. So even when I talk to artists who might show at a white cube, they have other income streams. They're teaching or they're using tools to help them. So it's so interesting how we feel shamed for things that are actually normal.
And yeah, and to think that we have to like hide it. Like,
Yeah.
ooh, I made this. It was magic. Like,
So when you
you
revealed
know,
that you were using a projector, how did you feel relief?
people get pissed too
Really?
online. They're
Still?
like, even with murals, I'm like, how do you think I'm gonna like the proportions of a portrait? I am not going to spend like weeks and weeks and months like hammering and hashing that out. Like I have a deadline, I have a schedule, it's weather permitting. Like there's so many factors. I have 3 kids who are, how old are they? They're 6, 9, and 11. And it's
Wow.
like, I'm pulled in so many directions. But yeah, like and I'd like to shatter those boundaries online. And what's cool is I started doing mentorship programs, like youth mentorship with each mural installation. And now my first mentee is going to Emily Carr
Hmm.
in Canada, one of the most prestigious art universities.
Wow.
And yeah, she was accepted, even though she's so smart. And I was like, in like the sciences and stuff, I was like, go do that. And I'm like, she's not listening. She's like, we had such a blast. I'm doing this.
You'll
So I
figure it out.
definitely have a way to like make people super excited, even when I'm like, don't do it. Don't, but her mom's like, any advice before she goes? This was like last week. So I sent her a voice note and I was like, Ray, I want you to know that people are going to say stuff to you, students and professors. And she's very like, she's super anxious and the art helped her a lot. But one-on-one, she's very like opinionated and smart. And so I know she'll go into it like better equipped than I was. But I said, like, your peers will likely be like 19. Even your professors, like, they don't know everything. So unless they have like technical feedback or anything like critical or constructive, other than that, like, seriously, take everything with a grain of salt. Like,
Yeah.
do not absorb what they're saying to you. Like, sit there, take it, but like she's a Cree artist and it's like, you know your visions, your goal, like what her aim is as an artist and a creative. Like she wants to stand up and represent her community and fight for Indigenous rights. And so I'm just like, you're going there and we all have these experiences. I'm like, maybe it won't be the same as it was for me, but I just want you to know, like, you do have the ability to, you know, speak up for yourself or just internalize it and like move forward and be like, that is
Yeah.
not for
I think
me.
that advice goes for everything because so many times we look to people, even people we admire who we love or we love their work or their business or something, and not everything they will share or not everything that worked for them will apply to our life. And I think it's so important, like you said, to have those filters and to say, okay, great, that worked for them. It does not work for my lifestyle. Even I was talking to one of my favorite artists the other day, and they were telling me like, well, if you want to make this, whatever, you need to like let go of your business. And I was like, no, 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 I can't. My business literally feeds me. And yeah, and it's like it's amazing if you can do that. If you have that ability, that's awesome. Who wouldn't want to just lay around and paint all day? Like, come on. But that's not possible for most people. Most of us have day jobs or businesses or side hustles to feed our kids and ourselves and pay the mortgage and or rent. And I think it's like I don't think people are off like not everyone is being evil or trying to get you down. Sometimes they're just sharing from their limited experience. And you have to remember they're not trying to, like, they're disillusioned with their own life and they can't see any other way? And so I love that you give her this advice and prepared her. I really wish someone said that to me because I was like a
Right?
sponge. I was like, tell me
I
everything.
know.
I need to learn how to be an artist and I'm just going to do it all. And then I have my heart broken a few times, as I'm sure you have as well, when people say things to you and you're like,
Super sensitive. But like, there was like a 25-minute critique when I was in art school about why I tape my edges. I was like, well, I was paper stretching. Like, there's no other way to paper stretch. Like, and hey, guess what, everyone? Still doing it. Like, still taping my edges. Like,
and your work is beautiful. Who cares
it's
about the
just
tape?
like, well, you have to, or your paper gets wobbly.
Yeah, it's gonna get
Like,
buckled.
but why are we, and then the professor's like, let them. And even professional artists, and I remember Andrew Salgado saying this to me. He's like, because I was signed up to go to somewhere in Italy. I forget now. Gosh, such a long time ago. And he decided not to. He decided not to because he's like, if I become an educator, I'll no longer be taken seriously as
Huh.
an artist.
I don't think that's true at all. It's
It's
so
not.
funny.
It's not.
Last week, I had Bonnie Christine on I'm not sure if you're familiar with her work. She does pattern design, which is a little different from what we do, but it's still a creative act. She makes these beautiful patterns and she teaches people how to make money off their art for like licensing purposes, right? Because I don't have anything near me, but like everything, like even the shirt is someone's art. Like they design these stripes, right? And so it was so interesting because she said, and I love this reframe and I want like to underline it on every episode. She said, it's our obligation, it's our moral duty to pass on our wisdom, our skills, and our knowledge, whether it's our art making or business savvy or even social media, because that's how things get passed on. And it doesn't make you a less than artist because you are literally empowering other people. How can that ever be wrong?
Mhm.
So, this conversation, because I think we all need to just like shut out that noise. And I
Yeah.
love Andrew too. Like I love his work and he's been on the show before. And it's different, but it's an opinion that I think just gets passed on too. Like, oh, don't do anything. Don't even create the assumption that you do anything but paint. Like
Mm.
that's like the rhetoric. And it's funny too, back to the projector. I thought of you, I think it was a few years ago, Good Grief came out by Dan Levy and he was using a projector. His character was using it to make the portraits. And I thought that was so cool that they celebrated his talent. Like, it wasn't his work, it was Chris
Okay.
Knight's work.
Artwork in that film, like
So
it was a
stunning.
film where his partner died, right?
Yes, and it was Chris Knight's paintings they used. So
Upset.
good.
Yes. I was like, cool. Be in on Netflix with art, right?
So good.
I've written it down. It will happen one day. Maybe
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know when, but I'm
Well,
like,
you're manifesting.
yes.
There was a few guests on the
Yeah.
show. I think Adam Hall had his art in the movie. What was that movie called with Julia Roberts that came out a few years ago with like when technology took over like cars and boats and they were crashing? His ocean painting was
Worst
in that.
feeling movie of all time.
Yeah, it was really depressing, but the point was his work was in it. So like put it out there in the universe because a happy movie or a show is going to invite you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this real quick. Real quick. My husband always is like, I'm going to shower real quick and takes forever.
Men
Anyway,
shower way longer than women. I don't know why, but they do.
he takes so long to
Yeah.
do everything. Okay. Because we need to wrap up, but I think all the listeners will love this. Do you have a time where you manifested something crazy like that?
Oh my gosh, so much. So many things.
How
I don't
many
even know where
things?
to begin. And it's funny, like I'm kind of in a little bit of a dry spell. I think this house that I'm in was like the biggest, most recent one. And it happened when I completely gave up and didn't care anymore. I remember I opened my
You have to let
phone.
go.
You have to let go, and I'm so bad at letting go. I hold on so
Let
tightly
go.
to everything. But I was like, you know what? I remember I was sitting and I was like, I'm just gonna do my best with what I have. I like decorated my office. I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy this apartment, even though it was like really driving me insane. But I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy it. And then I opened my phone and I saw a house and I was like, this kind of looks cute. Let me text my friend Bob, who is our real estate agent. And he's like, let's go see it. And I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting to like take action.
Yeah.
So we did, and it wasn't that house, but it was the second one we saw, and I was like, this house, if I so that was my most recent one, and it was very scary. Like it was like, what? It's happening? Oh my God. How about you?
Well, going to Portugal is scary. Like, I have not traveled to Europe since 2011.
Wow.
So it's been like, cause motherhood.
Yeah, well, that's a valid reason.
Yeah, no, those were crazy. Those were crazy things like going to Europe. And so Portugal, like, I think there's still some blocks for me, like, but it's shaking off. It's shaking off really fast when I think about the people. I think thinking about the people and the experience, especially with community, like has made me overcome some crazy, crazy blockages. And you
Mm,
just have to like keep going and like pushing
yes.
through. I'm not very good at letting go.
Me neither, girl.
But I painted a over 3,000 square foot mural. That was a huge
Wow.
one.
I think this was a few
Huge.
years ago, right? I think I remember it was
2023.
massive. So
Yeah. And it's
inspiring.
tons of meaning, tons of meaning for my community and so many people. That was a really like huge moment for me, and there were some things that came up where it almost got canceled, like
Oh
months of
my
heartbreak
God.
and
I'm so
like
sorry.
fundraising $100,000 and
Oh.
like it's nuts, but now I feel like I can do anything
Mhm.
pretty much, it is true. If you write it down, you talk about it. My first financial goal might have been with you guys, which it's not called the Art Queens anymore, right?
It's just Create Collective. Yeah, I put it
Great
under our
collective. It's
trademark,
okay.
so it
Branding.
has the same name.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
Easier.
Legal
And
stuff.
so, yeah, exactly. Dumb. Not dumb, important.
Yeah.
But no one likes admin work. Anyway.
No, no, and I
Yeah.
just wanted to protect my babies, so they had to go in
Yeah.
the nest.
Good for you. Yeah, exactly. Everyone still loves it, and we're still queens, and I still
Oh,
get
yeah.
messages of starting with queen. So it was so
I still
good.
call everyone queens too because it's
Yeah,
still mostly women. So it's
still have
and if
my
even if they're
sweater.
not a woman, they're gonna be called a queen anyway.
Yeah, yeah. So first financial goal was with you guys. Like I remember like tagging it beside me. It took me longer. It took me 2 years, not one, but I literally hit the
Oh, that's so
exact
cool.
amount. And then the next year, same Z's, hit the exact amount. Like it's crazy stuff, guys.
Yeah,
And
it's so
the
beautiful.
one I wanted to tell you. I
Yeah.
have so many. Okay, this will be the last thing we say, I swear.
No, it doesn't have to be. Let's just keep going. Why
Yeah.
not? We're
Okay.
here. We're
Right?
here now. Lock in.
So I always saw myself with you and Alicia, like when you were at art fairs. Like I always was like, I'll be there one day. Just will be like,
Yeah.
hey, that was crazy. And financially, when PXP said, let's do a figurative wall in New York, I had just invested in this Mac, which was like $6,800. And I
Yeah.
had just gotten the best iPhone. So I was like, that was all my money. Like, that's a lot of money. Like, I just did all my money, like, but like, I had just always, I was like, yes, I'm coming. And I was like, I don't have any money. So I just like did it. And,
That's how
and
it works.
then that's how it works. I think, and I don't want to say like, you know, I don't know what's going on in people like financially, but like for some reason, as soon as you decide you're doing something and like 3 weeks later, something happened where I made the money.
Hmm.
Like it's
Yes.
so nutty. Or like you'll always have your like oven will always break and your car will always break. There's never like the perfect right time. But when someone invites you and the time will pass, that is the right time. And it felt like we knew each other already.
Yes, it was so beautiful to spend time with you and a few other ladies there. Like I still like those pictures are some of my favorite because it was so cool because we were
Magic.
all locked in for so long and we're
Eating
like,
donuts.
we're
Yeah.
free and now we can actually meet in person. It was so, so lovely. And you're right. I think it's and this is something I struggle with still. It's like I do feel like in my life, and I don't know if you feel the same way, like I have to say yes and figure it out. I never have like the money or the skills
No,
or
no.
anything. And I'm just like, this is a vision God or the universe planted in me, and I have no effing idea how I'm gonna do it. Like even with this house, we're like, I have no idea how we're gonna make this work. Like we just do, and recently I went on an artist date because I just redid the artist way, and I got like a random tarot reading, which was so cool. It
Yes.
was very lovely. And my tarot spread was like all about don't focus on the money, which is funny because like I love, obviously we all love abundance and I love like coaching people on it. And it was funny because it kind of called me out, like, and reminded me of my younger self where I just like made things happen. I didn't worry about the budget. But I think as you get more into business, you get a little bit like nitty gritty with the numbers and you lose some of that like faith and just like purity of action. So it was a really cool reminder, like, yes, be responsible, be wise, but also when you hear that nudge, like to go to Portugal, paint a giant mural, fundraise for it, like we got to listen, go to New York,
Yeah.
meet your friends.
Something about that gut intuition that I think a lot of people just don't tap into. And it really is your brain and your heart and your gut. Like they're all connected. Like there's new research on it.
Yes.
And there, it really is true to like follow your heart, trust your gut, all of these things. And I love that Case Kenny guy who does all the quotes.
Yes, I love his little note things.
He always he always says this, and you'll see it a lot, but life meets you at your level of audacity. Like you're literally setting your own boundaries.
Ooh, what audacity other than going to Portugal, like what's the next audacious thing for you? I'm curious. Like what if
Yeah.
anything could happen and you could create anything in your life next, what would you do next?
Oh, that's such a loaded question because
Sorry.
and actually my like final question for my podcast is always like if you could describe your ideal like perfect day, do it. And what's crazy is most people are like doing it. So there's it
100%,
the
right?
level of like appreciating and having gratitude coming back to that is so huge. Like I read a book and it says when in doubt, always come back to gratitude. If you're crossing over into, he says, if you're crossing over to the competitive plane again, or or if I think if you're like catastrophizing, go to bed. But
100%, or spiraling or ruminating.
for bed, tomorrow will be a new day. I really want to continue on this path of empowering people and having the time. I think I have to get a little more specific about the time I spend on certain projects. Like, I really am living in a life that I would not have believed it when we started, or when you started Art Queens and we started in it, like as one of the founding members. Like, I would have been like, what?
Yeah.
First of all, being paid for what I do. Second of all, like, meeting the people I get to meet and spend time with. Like, I would love to continue to travel. October, I always go to BC, to the West Coast, my West Coast gals, but we go on like a family holiday. We are doing in October, Jessa Dupuis is with Danielle Kryza, who you know,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just having like another like group where we get to
Yeah.
share all our, but mixing collaging is fun.
Yes.
I really, and again, it's putting it out there without like really knowing with that what that means. But I do have like a 10-year like total goal to, like, I want to travel more. I want to do these retreats. And again, like, it's not gonna be the easiest thing to transition and find that time, because I have 3 kids in extracurriculars, which we were at the rink 232 times in 9 months. So it's like insane when I talk about like making time for something else.
Mm.
So taking the time to go with people somewhere is such a huge deal, but I really want it to involve and to my family coming along after. And Jean Oliver told me this. She's like, first of all, like, it's so important you're really present with the women you're with, and you'll stay in touch with these beautiful people for like years, and like WhatsApp groups and stuff. And I do remember I'm still in touch with my first residencies that I did. I'm still in
Yeah,
touch with
same.
those people, but I also would like my family to come along after and be able to see the world, you know, like, and get a taste for it. I think it will broaden their minds, form them as adults. Traveling can be really scary, so like really create those like new neuron pathways at a young age so I can empower them to travel too and have experiences. So taking my community, taking my friends,
Yeah.
taking and you know, making time for friendship. I think I've been lacking in that in person sort of. I think we got stuck for a while on the like online, like, it's very easy to get looped in online.
Yeah.
And I really want to have those in-person experiences. So that's what I'm making room for. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, having my family like come along for the ride. My husband and I are going to do our first trip to Portugal before I take the group,
Oh,
like 3
wow.
months earlier, and like Mexico and Greece. Like, I have like some like
That's
this
amazing.
somehow in the next 5 to 10 years, like, I'm making room for that, making space. So we'll see. And probably we can podcast about it in 3 to 5. I keep like shortening it, 3 to 5. No, we'll podcast again and I'll be like, I did it. It's nutty.
Of course, you always do what you say you're going to do, and that's one of
I
the
know.
things I admire about you. And I think that's so inspiring for people to know, like, you know, so many times people, and I'm not saying that it's not hard. Like, even I don't even have kids. I can't even imagine having kids and doing what you do. And even without kids, you do so much for the community, and you should be so proud of yourself. Like, just know people appreciate you. Like, I hear about your programs and your stories about motherhood and being an artist impacts so many women. Like, especially, I think that angle is so tender, and it's such a topic of like angst for us
People
artists,
have a
right?
lot of opinions about it.
Yeah, opinions that's just what they are. Everyone has one. And, you know, but I think it's so beautiful too that you do get it done. You might not get it done like the minute you say it, but you get it done. And
Or
like, correct me if
perfectly.
I'm wrong, but it's still so fulfilling and so amazing. And that's how I felt. Like, I realized my dreams, I'm a little bit of a like late bloomer when it comes to my dreams. It takes me time to get there, But when I do, I'm never like, oh, it's too late now. I don't want it. Like, I'm
right?
so happy. I'm so grateful that it happened, even if it took longer. So I love that. And I love that you're giving yourself a longer timeline as well, because you have kids and they have sports and things. So that's so incredibly beautiful.
But on the DL, because I know no one from my direct community, because they love hockey. I live in Canada. And you can heard the accent when I said that. I live in Canada. They love hockey. That's why I always go to the West Coast to see my art gals, because they're like,
To get away from hockey.
it's a season. And you know what? Like, it's hard to think about now because it's summer, but winter is like, Amy Poehler said it. She's like, I don't care what anyone says. It's never warm in Canada. She's like, they lie. They don't have nice days. Like a nice day is like plus 24, right? Degrees Celsius. And it's like minus 30 degrees Celsius in the winter. So like Portugal will be very much embraced and traveling. Where was I going with that?
Something about hockey and secret.
Oh yeah.
Something
Okay.
secret.
Yeah. No one will hear it, but like I low key, my sons are all here. I'm surprised they never, one podcast with Amber Victoria, it's not out yet. They threw a boot through the screen in a fight. And I was like, I'm sorry. I sent them on a bike ride. So I low key like want them to like pursue a different passion and like get a taste of the world and like know that hockey is not like the most important thing in the world. But again, like as an artist podcast, like no one will hear it. So
no one, I'm sorry to tell you, but no one will be shocked or even will react to that.
no one in the art world, but like you should meet these people who are in like, well, anyone who has kids who are in extracurriculars, whether it be swimming,
Yes,
gymnastics, whatever, dance, like they know what the
football here,
families are
like
like.
here, it's American football. Like that's especially in the fall and when that starts, like I go to a gym where like everyone's obsessed and I have no idea how the game even works. And I'm just like, yeah, cool. I just know that when our team wins,
It's
celebrate.
a thing. Yeah, like you're like, yeah, everyone, but like they're like talking about it, and I was like, I have to get my kids out of here, right? Like they're on this like casting call list, and we do auditions. We'll probably never get a role, but like it's an art, right? There's something to it, and so we have a lot of fun making the videos. We
That's
dressed
so
Teddy,
fun.
my smallest one, up. They're like reenact the scene where ET's in the closet, so. I made like a cardboard ET cutout, like painted, like waddles out of the closet. So like, I'm trying to like, insert like you're allowed. And I again have this like magnetism and like this, like I told my students, like, I'm like, it's so, and they were all the older girls are like in the theater group too. I was like, be cringe today, guys. Cause I always do mindset to start out. I'm like, I want you to be cringe. Like, don't be afraid to like dance weirdly, say that thing, have odd interests. Like, you're so lucky if you are. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's so
It's
real.
just put yourself out there.
And that's what we're drawn to. Like, we're drawn to weird, like, I'm not saying this like in a mean way, but like, I don't want normal people in my life. Please stay
I
away
know.
from me. Like, I want weirdos. I want people with opinions, even if I don't agree with them. Obviously, not harmful to society, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that they have some interests and beliefs and quirks. And that's what makes people interesting. And that's what makes us want to connect with them when they're not completely mass and robotic, like an AI chatbot.
But what's cool is when you do that, when you put yourself out there, it gives permission to everyone else. Right?
Yeah.
So I'll give an example. It tried to fit into hockey like 2 or 3 seasons ago. And
Like,
I was
you wanted to
so,
play?
well, no, I did learn to play. I can skate. Again, I grew up here. I can skate and play, but not like super well because we didn't grow up with money. So I wanted to do women's hockey when it came out, but we couldn't. So I learned, I volunteered, I help out because I think it's so important again to like be fun.
Yeah.
So I volunteer with the little groups and it's chaos. Like all the groups that I'm helping coach, they're like, you could see like the side eyes and the opinions and they probably hate me, but I like bring pool noodles and we like chase each other and it's fun. Anyway, I tried to fit in and be like, talk about hockey and whatever. And I was like, oh, this is so boring and like so hard. Like, so then the next year I would wear like, I was like, I'm just being me. And I wore like my paint pants that have flowers painted all over them and like, my weird outfits made out of
They're
tablecloths
so
and
cute.
like, I just was like, I'm being me. And I would pack my art supplies to the rinks in the middle of nowhere. I kid you not, by the end of the season, we had like 30 kids in the like cafeteria with like coffee and fries, like the old rinks, which are like small town old, like picturesque, weird, right? And what you see in like movies. And we were making art.
Oh,
Like it was just like, it was nuts. And then all these little hockey players come out and their like siblings are making art. And then they're like, I want to do this. And it's so like, you can be athletic. You can be this. You can, be
yes.
math minded. And you can make art.
I so agree with this. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's another toxic rhetoric of like, I was sharing this with someone and I had the pleasure of visiting Michigan State and I was hanging out with the students there. And the ladies that invited me were chatting, and I actually have them on the podcast this month. We just recorded, but we're talking about like the stereotype that we used to get. Like the artist is like super skinny, malnourished with a cigarette and a coffee with like black clothes, you know? And I think Danielle Krissa is going to release her book soon about real artists wear black, which I'm excited to read. But it's so funny how we get these things and like, it's been a few years now since I joined a CrossFit gym and I'm like the only artist there that I'm aware of. But it's so funny to me because I never imagined myself in a place like I never imagined myself lifting barbells or doing this. And I'm like, why did I not think I could do it? I can do it. I'm a person. I'm a human. I have a body, like just like anyone else. But artists are like these ghostly figures that are placed in this weird like stereotype that we can't somehow exist in a world. But I love that you're integrating yourself with these kids and these events and these people. And I think that's so powerful. So kudos to you.
Yeah. I love that you share that part of yourself too with women. Like, cause we do need to like lift weights.
It prevents osteoporosis.
Yeah. I love it. But I love how powerful that is. And I think it feeds into all these aspects of our lives. And I think it's okay to share it. And I think it's okay to share that we're human, to share that we love things other than, what we're allowed to share as like a brand or a person. And yeah, to be cringe and to put it out there and support your friends, support other artists and creatives who are trying to do it. I just had one of my mural class students, like she painted 2 murals this summer. Like murals are super, like they're not for sissies. Like they're so hard.
So physical.
Like I'm not saying no one can do it, but like they're
No, but
so
it's a lot of energy.
mentally tasking. You're out there for like 12 hours. Like I'm very leathery. Like it's, it's dirty hard work. Yeah, I had some messages last night from another mural artist being like, oh my gosh, I'm in it. And she like had projecting questions and there's something. So for her to like feel that power and like take it on and do it herself in a town she just moved to, like it's cool to see.
Mm, it's so beautiful. I love that so much. Well, Brandy, this was amazing. I'm sure we'll have you back on in a few months and years also, because I'm sure that you're just going to keep building. Where can our listeners find you right now? How can they work with you this fall? When this comes out, it'll be about September, end of August. What is happening on your agenda and how can they get involved?
Probably the biggest platform where I said is Instagram, and it's Brandi Hofer Studios. BrandiHofer.ca is my website. You can get a hold of me. I'll message you back.
Yeah,
I'm like one
you're
of
very
those
good at
weird
that.
people who message people, like, unless it gets lost by accident
Yes, and
somehow,
it's easy to
which,
lose, but you are so
yeah.
responsive.
Yeah, you too, friend. And don't be afraid. Super chill, happy to chat anytime. And you can find everything we do very easily
And is
with
the
a
portrait
click on
course
the
still
link in the
available?
bio. Portrait classes and this is the advice that everyone's like, how do you keep, like, they're like, you have to launch and do all these rules with online education. And I was like,
Make your own rules.
I'm like, I just like, and it makes you feel terrible. It makes you, when someone's like, you have to do it this way for it to work.
No.
And it's evergreen, which means it's always there because it's always there for that teacher to do with their classroom. It's always
I
there for that
love that.
artist who's afraid. It's always there because it's just the one thing where it's really gone viral. It's very, like, I would hate to be like, and it's gone.
Like that. I'm
You know,
redoing all my
like,
offers now too because there are some things that should be launched if they're live and if there's a reason for it. But I agree with you. I'm redoing all my stuff now and making it
doesn't sit
evergreen
well
once
with
it's
me.
ready. It's annoying. It's like why gatekeep this information from people when they could be
Yeah.
using it, especially
Yeah.
when it's recorded.
I mean, murals, I live in Canada, so you only have me for 3 months. Like, that's
Yeah.
definitely limited, you know? And so, and of course, like workshops and stuff like that. It's crazy being asked to, yeah, all of a sudden come on these things. And I'm really excited for the one in October with, it's a small group though. So I imagine it will be like gone in a
Yeah, well,
week
we'll join the wait list. Make
because,
sure you add a wait
yeah.
list for the next one, so people can stay in touch, you know?
Right? Yeah. Portugal, who knows? It might have a spot or two left. Then it
Yeah,
was
keep
just
an
meant
eye.
for, yeah. Good to see you, friend.
Yes, thank you so much for coming back on the show. It's always so, I feel so energized. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, gotta get that projector out and play around and experiment. A lot of the stuff that I made from your class was like just stuff for me. And it was so fun, you know? It was just such like play. And I think we all need more play because we all have projects and things for our artist resume and blah, blah, blah. Like just be a kid and play and make a mess and experiment with things. Like that's what life is all about.
I love the art that's super like simple. You know what I mean? Like where like you left something and there's like something, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and these things, that's where you'll find the magic. So I'm glad you tried it. I'm glad you loved it.
Yeah, and
And
I'll keep trying things with it too because I just
yeah.
took some of the lessons, but I still have to get through some other ones. So,
There's a
Brandi,
lot. There's a lot of like, and bonus.
and it's a very
Pastels on
reasonable
paper.
price.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very reasonable price. So I'm going to link it for our listeners so they can enjoy that as well and play and make space for some new experiments. And you have a link to your supplies that you use, which was really helpful also. So yes, amazing. Well, Brandi, thank you for coming back on the podcast. I'm so excited to share this with our community, and I can't wait to get the next update soon. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Thank you.
Yay!